Hey guys, welcome back to this week's podcast, GX Say It How It Is, with your hosts, Nyla
and Shanice.
And today we have a great topic for you. But first, I just want to mention last week's episode, which I was sadly on my own. Shanice wasn't here.
She missed the party, but...
She did miss the party. We had a great party with the Gwent police. Woo woo! No, we were here and we were talking about how to stay safe online. We talked about what to do if you're getting bullied. We talked about hate crime, hate incidents, all the things that people are going through online. It happens anyway, but I think it's got worse because we're in lockdown. Everything's digital, everything's on social media. So it has risen, which is what they said. But, it's just about knowing what to do, knowing the right
how
paths.
To navigate it.
Yeah, get the right support if you get in trouble or, you get hate crime, get bullied, whatever. Right, point is, guys, that was a great episode. There were so many tips, and if you are watching this, you are obviously online. So are you being safe? Do you know what it is to be safe? If you don't know, then you need to go back to that episode and then you will know.
Definitely.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna go back and watch.
You should. They had some great tips. Tips for me actually as well, as a parent.
Yeah, I think anyone, we all use our phones, not even just young people. So
yeah.
We all need to be sensible and caring.
And I gotta say that was a really good tip last week because they were saying about how now everyone's online and it's not just young people. So, your mums, your dads, your aunties, your uncles, your nans, they're all using Zoom or Teams, one of them for something. So you need to educate them. That was what was said, and that's important.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's true, isn't it?
As hard and as tedious as it may be, you got to put the work in because they need help, I suppose.
Definitely so.
IT support.
Yes. So this episode, guys, is healthy relationships from a male's perspective. If you missed our healthy relationships episode with Asha Jane, make sure you go back and watch it. That was definitely a great episode. But we had some criticism from some guys who were like, what about the boys? What about the lads?
So today we're gonna give the lads some insight, some relationship advice. We're gonna get into the nitty gritty. We are. And as always, guys, we start our episodes off with some Newport news, but I've got some sad news. It's not sad.
It's not sad, no?
No.
We haven't got no news for you guys. And unfortunately, that is because so much is happening, right? We're delivering so much to you, and I feel like we're bombarded at the moment. It's like, oh, what do we tell him? Well, go out there and find it for yourself, okay? No, I'm joking.
Do it yourself. We know.
No. Guys, we need some more news. We need to know what's going on. We want to hear from you. This is what this podcast is all about. It's about sharing, about connecting with people, and we want some more news, okay? So get in touch with us. Follow us on Twitter, on Insta.
Hit us up. Literally tell us anything.
Yeah.
Just say it how it is.
Say how it is. Did you not see the title of this podcast? Say it how it is, literally. So we're going to skip Newport News and we're going to introduce today's guest for today's episode on healthy relationships with Brighty, who was actually at the week in a previous episode we did. So welcome to the show. How are you?
Hello, I'm Nathan, I'm 31 and I'm from South Wales.
Likey! Lights off! I was like, what's the word? I said it wrong! Oh, that was terrible, Mike!
The easiest catchphrase and I just said it wrong.
I said it wrong.
I think...
Let's restart. Do it again. No.
I put the bait there and you swam past the hook.
I know, that's terrible. But, do you know what? That tells you that I don't watch much TV.
Nah, neither do I. So that's a Saturday night thing, that is. My lights have just gone off.
No likey.
No likey. Turn the lights off.
Turn the lights off.
Oh, never.
Dude.
Well, thank you for joining us. It's really good to have you on the show. And we're excited to hear from you, actually, because, as women, we talked to Asha Jane, who is a songwriter, singer, actress. She was fantastic. She gave us some dating tips, talking about dating other musicians and stuff like that. And it was really cool. And I think a lot of girls actually listened to her, and she was a really good role model for that episode. So it was really cool to have you on the show to give some insight to some boys out there. Guys, if you're watching, listen up, open your ears. I'm sure Brighty's got some some stories to tell. But as every episode, we always start off with a game. We like to have some fun on our podcast. So you up for a game?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so since this is all about dating, we always try and
make them related
to other episodes. We were like, what can we play? What games are out there?
But, age-old classic, Snog, Marry, Avoid.
Yes! So this is GX Podcast, Snog, Marry, Avoid with Nathan Bright.
Okay, you need to get a little music drop there.
I know. So you are going to see some women on the screen. And you have a choice. Out of 3 women, you have to tell us which one you would snog, which one you would marry, and which one you would avoid.
Oh, God.
Are you ready? Okay, our first set of women are... Do you want to do the honours, Shanice?
Oh, our first 3 lovely ladies. Round 1.
Am I giving reasons?
You can do, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
That's easy. It's literally in order. No, it's not. No, yeah. So I'd snog Monica. I don't even know their real names. I'd snog Monica, marry Rachel, and avoid Phoebe.
Okay, so
the only reason why I have marry Rachel is because Monica's absolutely nuts and Phoebe's nuts as well.
Okay, true, yeah, true. So for those who don't know, who ain't Friends fans, where have you been? Why don't you watch Friends?
I don't watch Friends.
Shanice.
Unless somebody makes me watch it. All the people who don't watch Friends, thank you.
Okay.
We respect you.
So if you don't watch Friends, it's because you were born in the 2000s. Basically, that's why you don't watch it. So, but I'm a big Friends fan, and those who don't know who these beautiful ladies are, it's Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox, and Lisa Kudrow, who were obviously the stars of Friends. Cool. Okay, so next round we have Paris Hilton, Miley Cyrus, Kim Kardashian.
Ooh, I'll go backwards. I'd avoid Paris Hilton. I'd probably marry the Kardashian. Get some collabs with Kanye going. And I'd snog Miley Cyrus.
Okie dokie. Next up.
Right, round 3. Ooh, we got Cardi B, Sweetie, and Nicki Minaj. A very hard lineup.
I'd marry Nicki Minaj. We're doing this all backwards. I'd marry Nicki Minaj. I don't know who the middle one is. Don't recognise the middle one.
Sweetie. What song does she does that song, don't she?
That's my type.
That's my type.
All right, yeah, avoid it for just the song alone. and I'd snog Cardi B.
Cool. Okay.
More than once.
This is my favorite round. Right. Next, we got Michelle Obama, we got Oprah, and we got Wendy Williams.
I'd marry Oprah. I'd snog Obama.
Yeah.
And I'd avoid Wendy Williams.
Do you know what? I think when we were discussing it, we had the same answer.
Yes.
Okay, last but not least.
Our final round, we have Maya Jama, Holly Willoughby, and Emma Willis.
Do you know what's mad, right? Those 3 women are 3 of my favourite women.
Hey!
Literally 3 of my favourite.
For the last round.
So that's probably going to be the hardest. I love Emma Willis, but I'd have to avoid her. Everything that's good with Maya Jama, and yeah, I think probably marry Maya Jama so I can snog him more than once, and snog Holly Willoughby, yeah.
Cool. Okay, thanks for playing Snog, Marry and Avoid. That was good.
It was really quick decision making.
I know.
Affirmative action.
I thought you were going to struggle there, but yeah, that was good.
I'll probably, if I'll watch this back and I'll be like, oh, I should have picked that person instead.
Right, so we're going to jump straight into this week's topic. So, firstly, obviously we're talking about relationships from a male's perspective, so we haven't really got much to say, to be honest. Might ask you a few questions, but you know, I think we want to let you lead this discussion. So thinking about, you know, social media now, it has a big influence on relationships. Over the last year, we've been in lockdown. People have had, you know, commitment problems maybe, where they've been away from their partners because they don't live together. You know, this episode is aired at some of the younger generation too, who have found it hard to not being able to see their boyfriends and their girlfriends. So that is probably my first thing that I'm going to ask you is, what do you think about being in a relationship during lockdown, and has it affected you, if you don't mind me asking?
If you're talking about not being able to see a partner a year on, that would be nice. We always have banter, literally, like we've been stuck in this house together for a whole year, so we've got through it, and to be honest, it's brought us stronger together, because we have seen the worst of each other, where we've obviously only lived together for 2 years, and you know, one of those 2 years we've been in lockdown. So yeah, it's been fun. 90% of the time. I think we actually had the conversation the other day, like from our experience of being in this situation. We said we don't know whether we would be together if we couldn't see each other in this whole year, because there's only so many FaceTimes and conversations you can have. You know, there's nothing like at the end of the day, just having a cup of tea and sitting down and watching a bit of telly with your partner and having them around all the time. Sometimes too much, but yeah, I think that it would be really struggled the other side if we weren't together. So I can imagine it being tough for people who don't live together. Yeah,
definitely so. So we done a little poll on Insta just to get some some input really from what young people are going through. 75% of people that we asked said obviously the pandemic has made being in a relationship harder. It's also made trying to get into relationships harder. Obviously people are going on dating sites, trying to talk to people. But there's also been a lot of pressure for young people, young people who are in a relationship. And I was saying to Shanice earlier about people on social media who feel that they can't be private if they're in a relationship and on social media. What do you think about that?
Again, going off past experiences, when I was younger, I used to air all my business all the time. If I had an argument with my partner, I'm slagging you off on Facebook, because that's the only place that I can go and you'll see it and I can get a reaction out of you. Yeah. Where now I see people, you know, our age, putting like airing their dirty laundry and putting statuses about their partners. Like, I think it's an age thing. As soon as you get to a certain point, you're like, nah, this isn't for me anymore. You know, if we got a problem, we'll sort it out. It's the same as I think some people are a bit too lovey-dovey on Facebook, and it does. Your Valentine's Day and birthdays are fine, but when I've seen some posts and oh god, sick bucket.
Oh gosh. Yeah. So also the pressures on social media was about comparing yourself to other couples. I've seen it happen.
That's what we do. Everybody like lives for it. Lives for the clout. Whose man's posted with an emoji over his face, like, who's her boyfriend? You know.
Well, have you seen anything that, you know, where you feel, am I as good as that couple, or do you have that experience of knowing anyone who might compare themselves?
I know of people that compare their relationships quite a lot. Yeah. I know for a fact I found the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. So she's like, in my eyes, we're perfect. So I don't look at it as like, oh, I wish we were like them, or I wish we were like, you know, she appreciates and supports everything I do. I'm the same. So for us as a couple, absolutely not. But I have seen it from other people that they do compare, and yeah, I just don't see the point. If you're going to be comparing yourself to another person's relationship, you might as well not be in that relationship and go and find something similar to the one that you want, because you're clearly not getting it with the relationship you're in.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah. And a final one was pressures of having to impress your friends who are in relationships. So feeling like you have to be in a relationship and you have to post about it just so you can impress other people and feel like you're in. You know, obviously you're in a relationship, you're in a strong, solid relationship, so you haven't got that situation. But again, like, what would you say to people who are out there feeling some type of way that, you know, they're not in a relationship or they're not in a relationship publicly and they don't know what to do about it?
To the people who are posting to try and make their relationship seem amazing, I just wouldn't. There's just no point. There is literally no point. There's nothing to gain from it. You're in a situation that if you're constantly trying to prove other people, then there's probably problems happening. If I see a post from someone sharing their undying love for their partner, I think they got problems like, straight away, because you know, keeping yourself to yourself and your business, people can assume what they want. But if you're posting stuff, then people can you can guarantee that there's a problem. If you see someone saying, "Oh, I love you so much, I don't know what I do without you. We've been through a rough time." Well, cheers for letting us know you've been through a rough time, because that's all I took from that, really. Yeah. What was the bit that you said about the after that? Sorry.
About just impressing your friends. So like feeling like you have to be in a relationship or you have to be public in a relationship just to impress other people.
I think even like when we were younger in our generation, like I found that we didn't crave the attention of relationships. It was just, we just go on with it. Then we used to just play in mud and no, but that's what it was like. But now the social media aspect has added such a pressure to young people to be in relationships and to start a family early. Then it's almost like, yeah, they're trying to be something that they may not necessarily want. Like at the moment, like me and my partner are watching Ackley Bridge. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Literally, we're nearly finished season 3, and it's mad because I'm watching it from like a perspective of when we were in school, and I'm like, I didn't realize there was that much pressure on kids now. There is so much pressure to be something, and yeah, I feel mega old when I say that. It's like I still in my head I still got the mental age of a kid. So it's like when I'm about like the 18 to 20-year-olds, that's where I am. You know, I'm still at sometimes.
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely like harder now as a young person who's trying to date or who's dating because of social media, you know?
Yeah.
Like you said, it wasn't around like that when you were younger. It wasn't around like that when I was younger. But it's like if you're in a relationship and it's not online, then it don't exist. And I find that a lot of young people are like, well, your boyfriend says he's single on Facebook. Oh my gosh, we shouldn't be together then because he's not really dating me. You know,
people are scared to be lonely as well. People are scared that they're gonna, if they don't find someone straight away, then I'm gonna grow up and be someone that stays on my own for the rest of my life. Like you could literally, in your 40s, 50s, 60s, come out of a relationship and find love again. Like my advice would just be, just don't rush. You know when it's right. You know when it's gonna feel right, and you go from there. Really.
Yeah, definitely. And I love the fact you just said don't rush. So, you know, we heard last episode when we were doing the healthy relationships with females about girls feeling the pressure of needing a boyfriend, wanting a boyfriend, having to have one. What age did you start dating, or what age do you think that pressure starts to hit boys and that they have to be in a relationship?
My first relationship, like my first proper, you know, with not being in school, because I didn't really class school. Any school relationship was just, yeah, I want to hold your hand walking to the bus. Like that was as far as a relationship went in school. I'd say I just left school. I was 16, and there was pressure, because you had the pressure of the boys then saying, "Oh, you know, have you lost your virginity yet? Have you done this yet? Have you done that yet?" And it was like, and if you say no, you'd have a lot of, you know, stick for it.
Yeah.
So there's definitely pressure from both sides, but I do think that there's definitely more pressure from the female side than the man side. Okay. Because, you know, let's be fair, we can be idiots, and I'm using that word loosely in there. Men can be horrible people, but again, so can women. So
yeah.
But we're worse.
I'm glad you said it.
We're not.
I'm gonna have so many boys messaging me going, "You sold us out, mate. You sold us out."
Oh gosh. So the title of this podcast is Healthy Relationships. Now, when we said healthy last time, a lot of people were like, "What do you mean, healthy relationship? Like, have you got to go to the gym together, have you?" And obviously, we talked about what is a healthy relationship from a female's perspective. Again, what makes it healthy. To you, what words would you use? How would you explain what a healthy relationship looks like?
Compromise, trust, and love. That's it. For me, compromise is the biggest, because if, when me and, I'm sure my partner wouldn't mind me saying this, when me and her first got together, we both come out of bad relationships and we find it really hard to trust. Now, we trusted each other to a certain degree, but there was always that if she goes out, I was worried and I felt sick when she was out. Now I'm like, please go out. Like, please, I need, you need to go and enjoy yourself. I need space. It's a weird one. A compromise is definitely that is main. You need to have that, be able to just go and do your own thing, and not have like a text saying, "Where are you? What are you doing? Why aren't you home?" Because I've had that in the past, and I know my partner has as well, and it's not nice, because you're never happy when you're out, because you always know that you're just going to get bombarded with messages. So you might as well just go home and have peace there, or maybe not peace.
Yeah, and do you know what? I love that you said those 3 ones. Compromise. With compromise comes understanding as well. Yeah. So it's not just that one thing. It falls into so many different things. And again, with trust, it's being honest. And then with love, it's just like everything in it. Because if you love someone, you give them your time and your energy and your effort, and So those 3 are absolutely great ones to say, actually.
Yeah.
So so this takes me. I'm gonna get Shanice to throw some questions at you, because obviously you are an artist. You singer, songwriter, rapper. What would you put yourself into?
I would just say an artist now. It was rapper, but I feel like I've evolved into an artist because I've started doing a lot more. So yeah, we'll just go with artist. I'll do.
Wow, do you know? Well, my head, because we're talking about relationships, and I just want to break down, because obviously I'm not a man, but I am a young person who seeks relationships, tries to understand, and is trying to navigate that. And I think one thing that I really want to touch on is that what is a relationship? Because we're talking about healthy relationships, but I think a lot of us young people, we're in situations where that's not a relationship, and we're talking to people, so you're texting them every day, you're not in a relationship. And I think there's like that, because that's how I see it from a girl's perspective. But from a man's perspective, do you see like young people putting themselves in a category of a relationship when in reality that's not what you're doing?
So the difference between what they think is a relationship and what is.
Yeah.
To be honest, everyone called like people. If you're meeting someone, like that's like the in between stage. Or I'm seeing someone. Like my nan used to say, "You courting," and for years I didn't know what she meant. I'd be like, "What are you on about?" I think there's like this, obviously like the stages. You have the texting stage. Sometimes it never really goes any further than that. Then you have the meeting up stage. I think the health. I'm not gonna say healthy again. I'm gonna say healthy one more time. To be fair, I don't know how to answer it, because a relationship is what you would call a relationship. Like, if you think that you're in a relationship, then you are. A lot of people these days just say, "I'm in a relationship" because my Facebook status says it. Don't they? Or like, I'll have like, you'll have like females adding me or males adding my partner, and as soon as they see they're in a relationship, they'll like delete them or whatever. And it's like, well, why are you doing that, you creep?
Yeah.
So yeah, to be fair, I wouldn't really know how to answer it, because a relationship is what you make it and what you think is what you think it is, really.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I just wanted to just get that out there, because I think if we're saying the word a lot, it's important to know that it's up for your interpretation. Do you know what I mean? There can't be pressure on something you get to make for yourself,
Yeah, just if someone texts you saying, I fancy you, that don't mean you're in a relationship.
I think communication is key, and this is what a lot of young people struggle with, is being able to discuss things with each other openly and honestly, and be able to say, I don't like you. It's okay to tell someone I don't like you just because they like you. And I know from, working and engaging with some young people that they find that really hard. If someone likes them, they have to be in that relationship because it's awkward if they don't follow it through,
Yeah.
So I personally would say to everyone to communicate, be honest with yourself as well as the other person.
And don't lead over, and you obviously in that point, if you don't like someone, you're leading someone on, they could catch feelings for you, and then it becomes a bumpy road trying to get rid of them because they're already in the passenger seat then, aren't they, so to speak.
Yeah, definitely so. So in our other episode, and I know I keep referring to it, but we're kind of just like, trying to, what's the word?
Give both sides of the story.
Yeah,
fair balance.
Yeah, whatever. You know what I'm on about. If you know what I'm on about, do me a favour and type in the comments, please, so I know. Anyway, we talked a lot about music because Asher James is an artist, you're an artist, and we know that music is a powerful source today. It has been for years. We get influenced very easily by music. And being an artist, do you write your own music?
Yeah. Never. Everything I've ever put out has been me. I would never take a verse from someone else.
Yeah.
It's got to be from the heart. It's got to be from me.
Do you write about relationships?
I have done, yeah, but I've used stories from past relationships, which sometimes in this relationship, it's hard to understand because I put out a song recently called Almost Forever, and people in my partner's work were saying, "Is that about you?" And it's like, no, like anything that I do, because I'm trying to like keep this like a bit more mainstream now, and if I do like the relationship ones, I couldn't speak about. People don't want to hear happy relationships in songs very often. It is though, it's misery in it, and you broke my heart, the R&B stuff. But I always say to her, this isn't about you, mind. Like, so she knows. It's a story. It's made up. It's for people to. Some of them is for people to understand, how it's been in the past, or maybe if they can relate to it, it could be something similar.
Yeah. So when you do write these songs about relationships and stuff, do you do it as in you want to promote a message for people to learn from as well? Is it that kind of...
Say that again, sorry.
When you do push out these songs about relationships, do you feel like you're a role model for someone to learn from, so your songs that kind of raise awareness for certain situations?
Yeah, I'd say I wouldn't follow me too much as a role model, but it's for people to just understand the journey and understand the story and what's gone on and where I'm at with things now. Like, I know this is completely off topic, but suicide note, when I wrote that song, so many people were like, are you okay? Are you okay? And I was like, I wrote that song at the happiest time of my life. But I reference back to when I was miserable. So all the relationship stuff that people hear now is talking about a time where I wasn't happy, because I can't talk about a time I weren't happy in this relationship because I've never been there. I'm open. I was going to say then. Hopefully never.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. We, like you say, you're talking about your experiences. We hear rappers all the time talking about women, and a lot of the time, sometimes they name the women they're talking about, sometimes it's left for interpretation. But how do you feel about how some rappers portray women? Do you think that there's a certain way you should talk about women in music, or does it not matter?
It almost feels like the bigger you are, the more you can talk. So I listen to like songs with like Meek Mill, for example, and there's one song on his album and it was disgusting. And I was like, but Cardi B was on the song as well, like giving the other side of it, but it was like it was just filth. And I was like, I don't agree with that. Like, I would never be able to do it personally because, I've done like clubby songs before. There is actually a song I'm releasing on the new EP that's come in that is quite like a naughty song, but it's not. I'm not disrespecting women. I'm talking about a relationship that what would go on the other side of things. So I can't stand when I hear songs and people are really, really disrespecting I don't like it. But at the same time, I can contradict myself. If it's catchy, I will listen to it.
Yeah, and I think that's where the influence comes in. Is you know, you hear a tune and it's like, oh, listen to that beat, that's sick, and you don't even think about the lyrics of the song, and it's like I'll catch my kids singing. I'm like, what are you on about? Where'd you hear that to?
Yeah, but literally we was in the car. This is completely random, and again, it's not relationship. But I was in the car with my mother, and Rihanna come on, Rude Boy. Yeah. My mum's singing along. I said, Mum, do you even know what she's saying?
Exactly.
She was like, no. I was like, I told her, and she was like, oh my god. I was like, see, because it's catchy, people just clock on. So if my mum walked into the shop, into like Sainsbury's, saying, come on, Rude Boy, can you get it up? People would be looking at her like, excuse me, but you just don't know, do you? So I think always be mindful of what you're intaking in your head, because if you're singing out loud sometimes, or you come across a certain way and think that that's okay, you could be in big trouble depending where you are.
Yeah.
I think that's something to keep in mind always though when you're listening to music, is that be careful what you're intaking, because it's not just going in here and one out the other. Is gonna affect how you think and how you treat people. So.
If we all grew up listening to Eminem and we'd done everything that he said that he'd done, we'd all be in prison, wouldn't we?
Exactly.
Everyone should know that, you know, there's a right from wrong. But again, that's the problem, is you've got rappers, and I'll name drop because I don't like 6ix9ine, but you've got like 6ix9ine, the stuff that he talks about. There's other artists and rappers in the whole of the world that say certain things, and I'm like, kids love that, but they don't even know what it means. But they could go into school talking about selling this and doing that and whatever, and you know, probably even the teachers might not even know. But then one person might hear a kid singing out of school, car could drive past, oh, are you into all that? Are you coming up? We do this, and it just leads on to a really, really bad vicious cycle, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think that's something I always found interesting though, that when it comes to rappers, like they don't sign up. Like you don't sign up to be a role model. A lot of these people are just speaking what their experiences are, speaking their truth, and it's like kids are hearing it and kids are intaking it, and we should be mindful. But also, should we like censor their experience and how they feel just to suit everybody else? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I've in the past with like youth work and stuff, when I've done like music workshops and kids have said, oh, I want to talk about this topic, or they're not interested in music at all, but then they'll tell me something that you know, there was a boy I used to look after in my old job when I was a support worker, and he come from a really, really, really bad background, and he wouldn't tell no one nothing. I put a microphone in front of him, I knew everything. So I think sometimes it's good to get young people just to jump on the mic and give it a go themselves, because then they might understand the writing process of these artists and then actually start listening to the lyrics more. Because let's be fair, if you listen to a song, how many words out of the verses do you actually pay attention to? It's the chorus. The chorus is the thing that sticks. So if that chorus is talking, is you know, glorifying this and saying that doing that's right and that's wrong, they're gonna listen, because these people are superheroes to them.
Yeah, that's so true. And yeah, just guys, I think what we were just saying then about how we some people sing lyrics and they don't know what they're actually singing, that for me is so important. I've spoke to girls about singing the songs that Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Janae Aiko, all these songs that they're singing are very sexual songs, you know, and these are young girls, 12, 13, 14, singing these songs, and it's like, oh, it's just a song. But is it just a song? I mean, when you're singing those songs, do you think, and I know from a guy's perspective, you know, do you think that guys listen to girls singing certain songs and would be like, that's what she's into?
Yeah, you're drawing the wrong crowd. You're bringing in a respectful bloke. If you're online, you know, half dressed with at the top of your Instagram story some really, really outrageous song, you're gonna be, who are you drawing in to try and chat to you? You're not gonna be having some guy who's got a full-time job, nice wage, nice car. You're gonna be bringing in someone that's probably from the road somewhere, that's doing something. Yeah, it's always be mindful of the people that you're bringing into your circle, for the way that you act, because sometimes it's the other way where you could bring it in, and it's not the other way with them pursuing, because most of this is from past experience, most of men that I've grown up don't like a good girl. So if you act good, you keep away the bad ones, and wait for the good men to come, because there are good men out there, and good boys out there. Not everyone's an idiot, but through music especially, there's people you would change your opinion on people, literally from hearing a verse or a hook from them, by how they're speaking about people.
Yeah, cool. I like to ask you one thing. If you could say anything to these younger generation now who are looking to date, who are dating, any type of advice from you, what would you say? What would you give them?
Like before, don't rush. If you are of a certain age and you're doing things that you know that is like kind of for older people, then make sure you use protection, make sure you speak to people, make sure you get advice from parents. Your parents are going to be much more happy having you say, oh, I want to ask you something, and I'm really embarrassed about asking it, but this is big for me. Instead of you just going and doing it and then find out, and then they would say, but I'm disappointed you didn't ask me. They wouldn't be disappointed you've done it, but they would be, but they'd be more disappointed that they didn't ask. So I just say, don't rush, and treat people how you want to be treated, and also get the respect from those people, the same respect that you give them. Because if someone's disrespecting you, walk away, because past relationships I've been stuck in for 2-3 years, I should have walked away from week 2, and I stayed there. So I that would be my advice. Don't stick around. If you feel you're being mistreated and you wouldn't treat that person the same way, walk away.
That's great advice. Thank you so much. Do you know what? I've lived down you on the show, Bright.
Yeah, I feel like I've learned a lot. Definitely.
To be fair, when you first asked me, I was like, you're asking the wrong person for a relationship advice.
Nah, do you know what? I'm living the songs. You were dropping songs left, right, and centre. We said this before. Like, I'm constantly hearing stuff from you, and I'm really, really enjoying it. There was that song, and I remember I posted to you last year, maybe, or the year before. No.
Yeah.
Oh, if you don't know that song, right, get on Spotify, listen to that song. I absolutely love it to this day.
Get to know no.
Get to know. Yes, get to know no. It's literally just one of those songs that you can just have on repeat as well. I don't know why, but yeah.
Just go and repeat it. Just go and listen to it. Get my streams up.
Yeah. So do you want to tell us anything that you got dropping, you got going on right now?
Well, I signed up with Perthnasau, which is a label in South Wales, on Thursday or Friday, and I've gone into a group full of these people and so many talented guys, and this producer in there, he said, do you want to? I asked him for one beat. He sent me about 15, 20. So like I'm in a situation that I've never been in before, because I've always had to go online and try and find the beats. Yeah. So it's EP time next. We've done 3 songs in 2 days. Wow. And the Level Up remix is coming out with Lucas J. Rose on there, Cherry, Eaton, David Inson, Formless, as everyone knows him, and Live Wire, and Dex as well. So yeah, it's a good lineup for that. It's just a nightmare trying to get everyone to get their verses done because of the studio. Obviously, we're locked down and everything, so. Yeah,
of course. Well, like I said, it's been great having you. Thank you. If you don't know about Brighty, get to know. It's Brighty. Thanks again, Bright, and I'll see you soon. Speak to you soon. Take care.
See you later, guys.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye. Ah, that was good.
That was great. I feel like boys, you have no excuse. That was a really good, solid,
conversation, discussion. Yeah, gave some great examples of, what to do in certain situations. Also, great advice from a great artist, a great influence in Newport, South Wales right now. So guys, pay attention. Those tips, don't rush. Don't rush. Slow touch.
Every time anybody says that, that's all I hear.
Okay, so before we say our goodbyes, we have our Artist of the Week. I was going to do a drum roll, and I was like, nah, I'm rubbish at drum rolls anyway. We have Artist of the Week, yeah! Artist of the Week. This week is a dancer, a theatrical performer. And we haven't had one of them. We've had our musicians and our singers and our rappers and stuff, but we haven't had... we haven't had a dancer, so Sorry, my eyes just wandered, guys. So this week our artist of the week is Crystal Lowe. Crystal Lowe. And if you don't know her, you can find her on Facebook, and she's doing some amazing things. I've literally seen over the last few months the workshops and the work she's been doing as a black artist in Newport. She's doing some great things. So yeah, follow her journey and check her out, peoples. It's been a great episode, and we've loved you tuning in to GX Podcast Say How It Is. I've been your host, Nyla.
And I'm still Shanice.
We'll see you again soon. Peace!